Welcome to the Paalam Labs podcast. I'm Sarah Chen.
And I'm Marcus Rodriguez. Today's episode is about a problem that's costing enterprises millions, AI pilots. Yes, that never make it to production.
And we've got the perfect guest to break this down. Tipu Swaran just published a piece in Forbes about this exact issue. Tipu, you've spent over 20 years leading transformation initiatives at Fortune 500 companies. And thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is definitely a hot topic right now.
So Tipu, just before we started recording, you mentioned a striking statistic. 95% of AI pilots fail to deliver value. That's brutal. Is it really that bad?
Unfortunately, yes. I see it constantly in my line of work. And this statistic actually comes from an MIT study that was published a few months ago. Organizations spend millions on AI pilots, brilliant proof of concepts that demonstrate amazing capabilities, but they never make it to production. They get stuck in what I call the forever pilot phase.
Forever pilot sounds like an apt term. So they're constantly experimenting, but never actually scaling.
Yeah, they run pilot after pilot, demo after demo, but when it comes time to deploy at enterprise scale, everything falls apart. And the assumption is always that it's a technology problem. We need better models, more data, faster compute, but that's not the real issue.
So if it's not the technology, what is it?
It's the operating model, which I call the enterprise DNA. It's the architecture of how priorities are set, work is done, decisions are made, and value is created.
Enterprise DNA. I like that metaphor. Can you unpack it a bit?
Sure. Think about DNA in biological terms. It's the genetic code that determines how an organism functions and interacts. For modern enterprises, that genetic code lies in their digital operating model. This operating model should help bridge strategy and operations through technology. And here's the thing. Most organizations are trying to bolt AI onto an operating model which was designed for a pre-AI world.
So they're treating AI as just another technology stack to add on top of everything else they currently have?
Precisely. And that's why they fail. In my article, I use the example of JP Morgan Chase versus Sears. JP Morgan didn't just adopt technology. They redesigned their entire operating model around it and transformed themselves into a digital financial services pioneer. Sears tried to bolt e-commerce technology onto their existing retail structure. And we all know how that ended.
Yeah, they faded away.
Right. And AI demands the same fundamental transformation. You can't just add it as a layer. You have to reimagine how your organization operates.
Okay. So how can leaders actually do that? That sounds like a massive undertaking.
It is, but here's the good news. It's totally manageable when you break it down systematically. In the article, I present a 3-layer framework for reimagining the digital operating model: strategy, organization, and technology. And the key word there is integrated. These layers have to work together.
Let's start with the strategy layer. What does that look like?
The strategy layer is about moving from vision to value, basically getting the best value for the buck. And there are 3 critical capabilities leaders need to master: prioritization, governance, and return on investment.
Let's dig into prioritization first. How should leaders prioritize AI investments?
This is where most organizations get it wrong right out of the gate. They try to automate everything with AI, rigid workflows, simple tasks, things that have obvious outcomes. But not everything needs an AI solution. AI impact is greatest in processes that require judgment, iteration, and expertise.
Can you give us a concrete example?
Absolutely. Think about underwriting exceptions in financial services or complex customer escalations in any industry. These are situations where you can't write down every rule for the technology solution upfront because there are too many nuances. AI is a great use case here because utilizing it can help the systems improve through expert feedback loops. Systems can learn from your best people on how to handle edge cases.
So instead of automating rigid workflows, you're targeting processes where AI can continuously learn and adapt?
Exactly. With every cycle, the system gets smarter. That's very different from traditional automation where you program something once and it stays static.
Interesting. What about governance? That's such a loaded term in the AI world right now.
It is. And here's where organizations often go wrong. They try to apply macro governance at the model level, setting up committees to oversee enterprise LLMs, creating these top-down approval processes. But that doesn't work because it's too slow and too disconnected from actual use cases.
So what's the alternative?
Task level governance. Instead of governing the model, you establish KPIs for specific AI augmented processes. You measure bias, decision quality, and model interpretability at the task level, where AI is actually being used to make decisions. So it's a bit counterintuitive. We traditionally measure systems on reliability, capacity, or speed at the application level. For AI, it should be a bottom-up approach, measuring individual tasks like identifying false positives for fraud or estimating accuracy of summarizing a legal contract. This makes AI deployment reliable and safe, which actually leads to faster adoption because people will trust it.
That makes sense. You're measuring where it matters, not just at some abstract model level. And those examples really clarify it. Fraud detection and contract summarization are very different use cases that need different governance metrics.
You can't govern them the same way just because they use the same underlying LLM. The task context matters. And this brings us to the third capability, return on investment. Marcus, pop quiz. How do you think we measure ROI for AI?
I'm guessing it's not the traditional cost-cutting metrics.
You'd be right to guess that. The trap is measuring AI like standard IT projects where you're focused on quick savings. How many FTEs did we eliminate, or how much did we reduce costs in Q1? But AI value compounds over time with learning and adoption across the company.
Ooh, compounds, like compound interest.
Yeah, like that. When the AI system learns from more data, and as more people use it across different functions, the value multiplies. So I recommend measuring ROI through 3 lenses. And this is important: efficiency, augmentation, and innovation.
Can you break those down for us?
Sure, efficiency is the traditional stuff. Speed of bringing a product to market or automating a process. Augmentation is about how well the AI helps people in intelligent decision making and customer personalization. Think about those AR apps where you see if a couch fits in your living room. The AI is helping with price recommendations and optimal positioning. And innovation is about brand new opportunities, things like competitive positioning with AI-based products or opening up whole new markets that weren't even possible before.
So you need to track all 3 simultaneously. I bet most companies are only measuring efficiency.
Yes, because if you only focus on efficiency, you miss the transformational opportunities. The value of AI isn't just doing things faster, it's doing things that weren't possible before.
Okay, that's the strategy layer. What about the organization layer? That seems like where the rubber meets the road.
It absolutely is. The organization layer is about moving from hierarchy to agility. The intent is to leverage AI and transform into an agile and innovative enterprise. And there are 3 capabilities here: structure, talent, and delivery.
Let's start with structure. I imagine the traditional corporate hierarchy doesn't work well with AI.
The traditional hierarchy stifles AI innovation with too many approval chains. Everything has to go up and down the chain of command, which is way too slow in an AI world that is changing by the day. But a completely decentralized model creates chaos. Shadow AI, tool proliferation, security risks, wasted investment.
So you're stuck between bureaucracy and anarchy?
That's the dilemma most organizations face. Although a lot of organizations have loosely adopted it in the past, AI requires a robust federated model. You establish an AI center of excellence that sets standards, builds reusable frameworks, and provides expertise. But you also empower product teams to innovate rapidly within those guardrails.
So it's centralized enough to prevent chaos, but distributed enough to move fast.
Exactly. This structure allows for rapid experimentation while ensuring enterprise risk is managed as teams adopt new solutions for their operations.
What about talent? That's got to be one of the biggest challenges. Everyone's talking about artificial intelligence replacing humans. I wonder if AI will take up my job one day.
Well, Marcus, you are a bit late to get there. However, it is a huge challenge, and I think organizations are approaching it wrong. The conversation is always about hiring AI engineers and data scientists, but the real shift is broader than that.
What do you mean?
AI fundamentally shifts the workforce from task execution to model orchestration, meaning people will eventually move from managing workflows to managing AI agents. So you need to develop talent across two tracks.
2 tracks?
Yes, the future skills need to be business technologists. First, technical AI skills, of course, prompt engineering, model evaluation, data literacy. People need to know how to work with AI effectively. But second, and equally important, are what I call power skills: critical thinking, judgment, creativity, emotional intelligence. These are uniquely human capabilities that AI can't replicate.
So you're not replacing people with AI, you're redesigning work.
Except for Marcus. The goal, though, is to redesign work so humans focus on strategic decision making and actions, while AI handles routine analysis. This upskilling approach will allow leaders to build a future-looking modern workforce that can be prepared as AI continuously evolves.
I feel like I am beginning to discover more about myself in this conversation. I love that you call them power skills rather than soft skills. That reframing matters.
It does. These are not just nice to have skills. In the AI era, these are the skills that will become indispensable to an organization.
What about delivery? How does that change?
So most organizations are familiar with DevOps for software development. Then MLOps emerged for machine learning. Now we're seeing AIOps, which adds intelligence across the entire delivery lifecycle.
What does that look like in practice?
Think about using AI integrated tools at every stage from conception to production. AI co-pilots increase speed of building software. Predictive analytics prevents IT incidents, threat detection, anticipates vulnerabilities, orchestration tools manage LLMs and AI agents. AI ops will help us evolve from basic SDLC automation to intelligent operations.
So, AI is improving how you deliver AI?
Exactly. And the result is organizations can deliver faster, more reliably, and with less operational overhead.
All right, we've covered strategy and organization. What about the technology layer? I'm guessing this is where the infrastructure comes in?
Yes. The AI pioneers will be very much pissed that I put technology last.
They definitely will be.
The point is, if we have a robust strategy and organization layer, then we have laid a strong foundation to introduce any new technology. And the technology layer is all about moving from systems to intelligence, addressing 4 foundational capabilities: data, compute, integration, and analytics.
Let's start with data. That's always the foundation, right?
It is. AI depends on data quality and availability. Now, most enterprises have matured their structured data management, databases, data warehouses, the traditional stuff. But here's the problem. 80% of enterprise data remains unstructured.
Like documents, audio, video, images.
Yep. And traditional analytics can't handle that effectively. So leaders need to integrate traditional databases with AI-powered search tools like embeddings and vector databases to retrieve that unstructured data and make sense of it. You don't want to lose out on all that valuable information.
And I'm guessing you need human validation in there somewhere.
Absolutely. Keeping a human in the loop allows AI to learn properly from enterprise data and improve its accuracy. You can't just trust the AI blindly.
What about compute? AI is notoriously resource intensive.
It is. AI needs flexible and scalable infrastructure. That's why enterprises need to move to cloud, and fast. Cloud platforms provide the vast storage and massive compute resources needed to train complex AI models. But here's the thing, not everything should run in the cloud.
What do you mean?
The thing with AI is, just like a human, it is never content with what it gets. For example, think about latency-sensitive applications like autonomous vehicles which require decisions to be made super fast, or ATMs that will in the future look for facial recognition to prevent fraud. You need edge computing to both address speed and real-time AI at the source. Edge computing is basically a mini version of AI that will run where the transaction happens. Think of it like your computer hard drive. You can't wait for a round trip to the cloud when you need life or death decisions.
So it's a hybrid architecture.
Exactly. Model training can happen in the cloud where you have massive compute resources, but decision making can be distributed and dynamic at the point of user interaction.
What about integration? Most of the time, I hear leaders say, the solution seemed fantastic when the vendor showed it to me, but it doesn't seem to work well in my enterprise landscape. That seems even more critical when you're adding AI across the enterprise.
This is where a lot of organizations create a mess. AI adoption without due diligence doesn't just lead to application proliferation, it creates fragmented capabilities and mounting technical debt. Every department then starts deploying their own solutions.
Shadow AI.
Eventually, and it creates chaos both operationally and financially. Every organization has this thing called the service catalog. This is where every single service that they provide is documented in terms of scope, cost, and other metadata. Leaders should enhance that catalog with AI offerings and integration standards to create a consistent technical architecture across the enterprise. You want business-aligned AI solutions to be shared enterprise-wide.
So you're treating AI as managed assets within the operating model, not just letting experiments multiply across departments?
We don't need the forever pilots, right? Innovation for innovation's sake doesn't add any value. By managing these AI-enabled assets and creating reusable APIs or microservices, we can deliver real value, optimal costs, as well as innovative products at speed.
Interesting. Last one, analytics. I constantly wonder, what's the difference between AI and analytics?
This is where it all comes together. When we talk about data maturity, it means properly collecting and storing the data. When we talk about analytics maturity, it means turning data into information, things like KPIs. But the goal isn't just generating more information. We're already drowning in that. It's converting data all the way into actionable wisdom.
That's a big shift.
It is. Leaders want to shift from focusing on what happened last quarter to what can we do in the next quarter. AI-driven analytics can deliver both predictive insights and prescriptive guidance. The important thing to keep in mind is they still need to be tied directly to strategic priorities and ROI objectives.
Predictive and prescriptive?
Yes. Predictive tells you what will happen. Prescriptive tells you what to do about it. Think about moving from how many iPhones did we sell last year to How many will we sell next year? And even better, how can we sell more in the next 5 years? When we align the models to our strategic questions, AI can help transform dashboards from a simple reporting tool into an intelligent decision-making engine.
Fantastic. Tipu, this is a comprehensive framework. But let's bring it back to where we started. If you had to give leaders one key takeaway, what would it be?
See, everyone eventually will work with AI. There is no question about it. Success depends on AI effectively integrating with the digital operating model. Think of a new AI solution as a foreign body entering your organization's bloodstream. Unless your enterprise DNA is designed to accept it, it will be a failure. And this is not new. Every transformational technology presents two diverging paths.
Bolted on or embedded?
Exactly. You can bolt AI onto existing operations, or you can embed it by reimagining the operating model entirely. The first path leads to unrealized aspirations, the forever pilot phase. The second leads to measurable competitive advantage. Since I am a European football fan, I'll give a sporting analogy. They say a referee has his best performance when the audience doesn't realize he even existed. When AI embeds itself into the experience, that's when the AI will deliver its best performance.
And this requires integrating AI across all three layers: strategy, organization, and technology.
You got it. It's not just one layer. You need all three working together. That's what I mean by reimagining enterprise DNA. Most organizations will take the easy path, bolt it on, run some pilots, check a box. The leaders who future-proof their enterprise DNA will be the ones willing to do the hard work of real transformation.
Meaning, leaders must take the road seldom taken.
That's right. Robert Frost is a genius.
Tipu Swaran, this has been incredibly insightful. Thank you for breaking down this framework.
Thank you both for having me and for the great questions.
For those who want to dive deeper, Tipu's full article, Future-Proof the Enterprise DNA, Architecting Operating Models for the AI Era, is now available to read on Forbes. We'll put the link in the show notes.
And if you found this valuable, subscribe to Paalam Labs podcast for more conversations on business and emerging technology. Thanks for listening.